Happy Thursday afternoon for many of you. Hope you're doing well. Glenn Stein here, Realty Executives in the Villages. And I want to talk to you about really three things. There's many things to look out for when you're buying a home anywhere, really. There's more than three things, but the three things I'm thinking of right now, specifically here in Florida, in the Villages, I think we need to look at. The first thing is we need to make sure we understand the bond. We need to make sure that we understand the maintenance fee. We got to make sure that we understand the amenity fee. We got to understand, what those things are. And, obviously they're covering, the infrastructure. They're covering the beauty of the villages, kind of like the common area maintenance, the rec centers, the pools, all the things for beautification are all included, and streets and sewer and all of that, right? Like that's what all of that covers. So understanding, number one, is there a bond on your home? I think that's really important. Obviously, has it been paid off? Most of the homes that are obviously north of 466 in the villages, north of Sumter Landing and closer to Spanish Springs, or obviously they're old enough where the bond has been paid off. That's one thing to really look at. Understand what you're getting into. I think that's really important. Obviously, in any home, no matter where you are and where you're buying, of course, that's a thing. But specifically here, it's a little bit different. And obviously, we've got an MLS and a VLS. There's two different systems here that really doesn't really exist anywhere else except for here in the villages. So really unique situation. So, connect with us if you have questions. My number is 352-572-3796. 352-572-3796. Also, you can find us at buysellthevillages.com, buysellthevillages.com. That's the first one. The second one is, the roofing issue has, it's very interesting because the villages specifically was built in waves or in phases, and you will. And there was no phase one, phase two, but basically houses were obviously originally built across 441 in historic section. Then they moved across 441 to right around the Spanish Springs area, and then moved west, and then moved south all the way through where the Savannah Center is to 466, to Sumter Landing to 466A and Colony Plaza, then down to 44 and Brownwood, and then now obviously new construction is south of 44 and south of the Turnpike, a little bit north of the Turnpike as well, and moving south and also moving east. So those are things that when you're thinking about the villages and things being built in phases and stages, there are certain areas that are now, let's say they were built in '06. Now we're in that, south of 466 area, tall trees and, moving towards, Sumter Landing and Mallory and all those areas that are 15, 16 years old, and insurance has become an issue. So if you're going to buy a home that's going to be in that 14, 15, 16-year range or older, and the roof has not been replaced, it's not a new roof, then you need to consider, okay, what you're going to do as far as this roof, because you're going to have to replace it the next couple of years. They call it a 30-year roof, but the reality is roofs are lasting because of the sun and the heat and the rain and the moisture and humidity closer to 20 years. So that being the case, you may want to consider putting in an offer that's contingent upon insurance, getting insurance, number one, because insurance, you could always get insurance, but the insurance might be a little bit higher than you're expecting. So maybe it's going to be capped at a certain amount, and you want to talk to your real estate professional about that, your realtor. So make sure you are aware of that, especially in our area. For the people that live here, you understand it. But if you're not from here, it's something to look out for, right? Like that's really crucial that we educate our people that are coming into the marketplace, because we don't want to have you be unhappy with our services. Obviously, we want you to be super happy with us, and obviously use us continuously and refer us. I think that's really important, right? And then the third thing I want to address is something that you may not even ever think about, and I don't know that anybody's ever talked about this, but I've seen this recently with a couple of our dealings with some other companies, And there's something called the seller's property disclosure. And that is supposed to, the seller is supposed to indicate what they know or what they don't know, what they think they know, whatever, right? They're supposed to disclose these types of things that are going to be important, that may materially affect the value of the property. And we're seeing it where they are putting it in the seller's property disclosure that there might be some kind of settlement issue in a home, or a sinkhole that was mitigated or rectified. It's been fixed, but it's in the seller's property disclosure. But it's not in any of the MLS information, which, by the way, is perfectly legal. Whether it's the right thing to do is another thing. I'm not going to judge that here necessarily, but I will tell you that I do recommend that our realtors, if there is a situation with a particular home, that it is notated and disclosed within the public remarks, and at the very least in the realtor remarks, so your realtor that you're working with should disclose it to you, and also in the seller's property disclosure. So here's my point. My point is look at, review the seller's property disclosures. Review them. Don't just sign it and say, okay, this looks good. And they said, no, I don't know, and whatever. Make sure you're looking at it very closely to see what the sellers are actually saying about their own home and what they know and what they don't know. And the reality is they don't know everything that's going on in their home. They'll know most things, though. So my name is Glenn Stein, Realty Executives in the Villages and Ocala, broker, owner. And if you have questions, connect with me, 352-572-3796, 352-572-3796. If you have any questions about what's going on in the marketplace, I'm doing that as well. I'm giving a weekly update, normally on Fridays. I'll give a market update, so you'll see me tomorrow. But if you have questions about anything, let me know. Or if you need a referral, obviously, if you need to talk to one of our great realtors, if you want to know who that could be, just let me know. Give me a call. All right. Take care.